financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is the coffee story.
I love it.
But it's really budget management for 2024. But the coffee story shall be told during this show because Pat Simasco has requested that Brian Small tell him the coffee story.
I wasn't going to come if it wasn't on the sheet here.
Pat, good morning.
Good morning.
Brian, I hope you're ready and you remember the coffee story.
Remember it. I've lived it. I understand it.
I've heard it so many times, I might have to say it.
I actually have to say that but I'll hold that. Jeffrey Linden, good morning.
Good morning.
When I look at you, Brian, sometimes I see a billboard across your forehead that is a ticker tape telling me this coffee story.
Hey, why not?
So I would believe that you do remember it.
I
But
do.
not everybody knows it, and if you do not
And
know
it has
the coffee
been a while
story,
since we've told it.
stay tuned to the end of the show and you will learn about the coffee story. But let's talk about budget management. Study. Most Americans waste money.
Every American wastes money.
Do Americans waste more money than non-Americans?
You know, that's an interesting question.
Do Italians waste money?
I think every person wastes money. But we are a society of excess.
Wait, not everybody wastes money.
You're right. There is one person.
Is there
at the very
somebody
least.
that you know who doesn't waste money?
Brian Small goes to the grocery store 7 times a week.
Is there someone you know who doesn't waste money?
He spends $3 a day.
No.
I know someone who doesn't waste money. Brian Small.
You're right. At least I try very hard not to. And I don't go to the grocery store 7 days a week. But what I do...
Do your children waste money?
Oh, yeah. It's unfortunate.
But I bet you when they get older, they'll become more like you and they won't waste
But
money.
they
Well,
see
I
what
think
the
I think
parents
I
do.
think my son doesn't waste money. My daughter is a little less frugal than I would like her to be.
So why is it that people waste money?
People
Pat,
have
do you waste money?
Marketing. It's
Do
the
you waste
marketing. Yes, it's
Jeff,
marketing.
do you waste money?
I do.
I'm looking at that beautiful cruise ship picture. We went to Australia, walked all over. My daughter was study abroad. We walked all over Australia. When you go to the cruise ship, you know exactly the Americans that are there because they all look differently. Their waist size, including me. It's just marketing that it's buy, consume.
create wants.
Americans are bigger than Europeans. And
yes.
probably Australians. It's all because of fast food,
No,
in my view.
it's all because of we're a society of excess,
Yes.
and the more that you have, the more respected you are in society
Well, what does that have to do with being overweight?
because
You get more food
You
than
get-
you need to eat if you go out to eat.
Sugar.
You waste food. Most of the time, people don't finish what they're doing, what they order. They end up throwing it out. You're eating higher fat foods. That's where the fast food comes in. But most restaurants that you go to give you way more than you can
Double
finish or
portion.
need to eat.
it
That's true. It's only the fancy restaurants that put very little food on the plate and charge you an enormous amount of money.
Right. The European style restaurants.
so but basically everybody wastes money. It's to what level do they waste money? And I think American
What's
society.
waste? Define wasting money.
Well, I have a specific definition of what wasting money is. When you get little or no satisfaction out of the spending that you do, and you cannot recall the next day whether or not it was worthwhile that you spent it. Okay? When you go, so think about this.
This is my Larry David invitation.
No, think about this. What's a passing grade in school? What's a passing grade?
B plus.
D.
No,
D.
D is passing.
Is a passing grade. Is a D an acceptable grade?
No.
Is a C an acceptable
No.
grade? Is a B an acceptable
No.
grade? Okay. For most people, a B would be an acceptable grade. Okay. But
It was acceptable for my children. It wasn't acceptable for me.
okay. But is a B
I'm
an
not-
acceptable grade?
No.
Yes, for the most part.
Okay.
No.
But
well,
a C isn't.
I'll be with you. C is not.
Okay. So why would you ever why would you go spend something that only gave you a C in satisfaction?
Oh, I am satisfied whenever I spend something. I like spending money.
But what if
it
you-
makes me feel good to spend money? Like
Sure it does.
I like going to the grocery store and buying things. I feel good about it. But I still think it's wasteful.
Yeah, but why would you spend money
Got
if you
nothing
don't
else
get
to do.
enough satisfaction
Well,
out
what's
of it?
enough satisfaction?
At least a B,
That's
not
super
a C, a
subjective.
D, an E, or an F.
Yeah, but that's super subjective.
It's not subjective. When you look at go out to eat, okay, which would you rather do? Go to McDonald's and have a meal there, or go out for a nice meal at a nice restaurant?
Depends.
I learned this in law school, exactly. Sometimes, the McDonald's French fries and a Coke are exactly what I want, and that tastes and feels great.
Okay. Then what level of satisfaction did that meal give you?
That was
High
the A.
satisfaction.
Right.
That would be
You
A.
wanna know
good.
something? It has been so long since I've had a Big Mac. That would be a
They're
triple A.
But that's my
I
point.
haven't,
But
I haven't
That's
had,
subjective.
I haven't had
It
a
is
Big
subjective.
Mac in 23
But
years.
everybody has a subjective level of what is an acceptable B in life.
Right.
Okay? So if what I spend my money on gives me an 80% or better grade point, so to speak, then it doesn't matter what I'm spending the money on. It matters that I at least get an 80. I at least get a B.
So-
Let me put in perspective. If
So you eat fancy
you're
out every
allowed
night?
you're allowed to waste your money after you pay yourself, you pay your mortgage, you pay your light bill, you pay
That's-
your savings, you do
You-
your
right.
retirement plan, whatever's
just create
left
your
over.
vacation fund.
Yeah, whatever's
You-
left
That's
over.
the
then it's
objective
okay.
part.
Then
Right.
that's part of your wasteful money. God bless you.
But you're having fun doing
yeah,
it.
well, it's part of life.
But
is
the
that.
thing about it is people.
But you have to get there first.
you got to get to that point first.
Not only do you have to get there, but here's the problem. People waste money and they're in debt. And if they didn't have debt, we wouldn't be so concerned about it.
We're going to take a break, and I still don't quite understand your definition of wasting money.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Pat was recommended by a friend who insisted that we really needed a trust. And he said, I know somebody who will do a good job for you.
At Samasco Law, we deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
We had excellent service from Samasco Law. Any questions we had were addressed. Our estate is in order and it had been set up so well that nothing needed to be done. I would just highly recommend Samasco Law.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, so, Brian, I have a question. I'm confused on wasteful. One is, I understand, because we've talked about this before, going to the grocery store, buying 2 bags of lettuce, because I want to make sure it's fresh, and then never not using it during the week, and then on the following Saturday, buying 2 more bags of lettuce and throwing the other 2 bags out when I get home, that I consider to be wasteful, that I have, at times, I'm guilty of. But what you confused me though, if you love eating in a fancy restaurant and you're going to go to Joe Muir's 5 days a week and spend $800 a week eating out, is that wasteful because you enjoy it?
Yes, it is wasteful, but there is a balance. Okay, so the balance comes down to, with budget management, the first thing we do is we categorize spending, and it's a simple category: necessary spending, not necessary spending, and sort of necessary spending.
Joe Muir's goes into not necessary.
Absolutely. And necessary spending is what keeps a roof over your head. If you bring home $3,000 a month and your necessary spending is $3,000, how much fun can you have with money?
0.
That's right. So, the most important thing,
paying for your necessary items is fun.
Well, there's very few people that are fun.
What they're doing is using the credit card to pay for their necessary.
But that's a different part.
Well,
aspect
transportation, you would agree, is necessary, right?
Yeah, a reasonable car payment.
Oh, so a Ferrari's not?
Probably not.
Okay.
But your necessary expenses.
Even if I get an A in satisfaction.
You're going to let me finish this,
yes,
okay?
I am.
Your necessary expenses keep a roof over your head.
Okay.
Everything else.
Food, shelter, clothing.
That's the necessary side. Everything else is you have a subjective choice of what you want to spend your money on, okay? And when you're spending your money, you want to get as much satisfaction out of that expense as you can.
So it's the it's the non-essentials we're talking about.
That's correct.
Okay.
Doesn't he sound like every client that you're trying to tell?
Sure. But if you have $3,000 of necessary expenses and you bring home $3,500, how much money is available for the extracurricular, not necessary expenses?
$500.
That's right. Okay.
Now, what do you have to go to your calculator?
What do you want to achieve? What goals do you want to set for yourself when you want to save money? Would you like to go on a vacation?
Yes.
Okay. How much money do you think a vacation is going to cost for a family of 4 to go for 1 week? Just an average family of 4.
$10,000.
20.
Let's say the rest of the world can do it for $5,000. Okay.
Fine.
All right, you're only bringing home $500 a month extra over your budget, over your necessary expenses.
So I got $6,000 a year coming in.
That's $6,000, and you want to go on a $5,000 vacation.
I need a new plan.
Maybe, or
Cheaper
you only
vacation.
have $1,000 left to spend on other stuff.
Well, that isn't going to go very far.
It's not going to go very far. That's the point. What you have to do is you establish reasonable goals of what you want to achieve with your money. I would like to, A, create a vacation fund. B, I would like to create a put more money into retirement. I would like to buy a new car. I need a new furnace.
So you go through that process. I'm following you.
Okay.
But you go through that process. Isn't it going to be just a frustrating event when I say,
No.
I've got a lousy $5,000 to
But that's
do,
not reality.
And there's $20,000 worth of things I want to accomplish.
Sure,
I'm going to be
it
depressed.
gets frustrating, but the reality is
Buy a lottery ticket and hope I
people
win.
waste money. People go, instead of packing a lunch to go to work, people spend $12 at McDonald's. They could have achieved the same thing eating lunch for $4.
And the benefit of doing that is it frees up other disposable income for the higher value things that you're trying to accomplish.
Right, exactly.
The people that got upset and depressed about that went and spent that. That was Bart and Jill from one of our last shows who has $150,000 in credit card debt. Not the Brian Small that had 0 credit card debt and still has the same satisfaction.
Except Bart and Jill accumulated the $150,000 of credit card debt by going on $10,000 vacations for 5 years.
That's the point,
And
because they
So
weren't saving
Are
it.
they right or wrong?
It's an interesting question.
Because then they come back to Brian and he gets rid of the credit card debt and settles
Well,
it for pennies on the dollar.
The thing about it is my goal with budget management is to get people to live within their means, not to live outside of their means.
And that point, I think you've done a good job making, and I follow. That's where you go with your $3,500 versus your $3,000. You only got $500 a month to work with. Decide how you're going to spend
and
it.
this leads into the coffee story, which is, and I don't know how much time we have left, but
Well, the coffee story is going to be for the third segment.
then I'll wait for the third segment.
Because we want people to be wondering about the coffee story, and then we want them to come back after the commercial. It's a teaser.
All right.
Let me throw in on something. Back in the old days, when you retire, you had Social Security and pension to live on. So you
No
didn't
more.
need a whole lot of money in your retirement plan. So you could be frivolous with your spending during your life because they focus only on your Social Security and pension. Now there isn't any more pensions. And Social Security is not a big number, especially when they collected at what age?
62 instead of full
That's why
retirement
you
age.
need to live under your means so you have money to
So you're
invest
accumulating
in
that
your
money.
retirement so you're not living off of cat food.
And you need to get that house paid for so that your overhead is low.
That's
so
our
that you're, when you're
3
making
point-
All
money.
of those
retirement.
things, budget management leads towards that 3-point retirement plan.
So what's the hardest thing for people to accept when it comes to budget
They're
management?
not pulling into Starbucks every day.
Well, we'll talk about that. But what's the hardest thing for people to accept? That it is unreasonable to just spend your money frivolously without thinking about the level of satisfaction you're getting out of each expense and whether or not that money should be better off used to achieve the goals that you have established for yourself. The retirement plan, the new car, the furnace.
And I think, see if you agree with me, you have to accept the premise that if you want to achieve the goals, you have to commit to it, and that commitment means sometimes not doing everything that you want to do.
That is true, but it's not belt tightening. It is eliminating waste.
We'll be back after the break.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
We were just spinning. We just didn't know what was going to happen next.
At Samasco Law, we deal with these issues every day, especially elder law. Pat went to work for Fran.
Patrick was there holding my hand, kept saying, we'll get through this, we'll get through this.
He got her husband Medicaid and in a nursing home. Samasco Law got the success they deserved.
Samasco Law is definitely family to me. I really appreciate knowing all of you.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. The topic is budget management.
Yes.
But the topic of the show today was the coffee story.
Right. So the goal of the coffee story, the goal of the whole thing is to get people to understand that we're going to eliminate waste and hopefully still achieve the same goals. Okay.
With that said,
without losing a level of satisfaction.
Would you do us the honor of telling us the coffee story?
Sure.
Once upon a time,
Mrs. Smith came in to see me, and Mrs. Smith came in because she was having a problem with her finances. And we're not going to have a whole lot of sympathy for her because she makes $200,000 a year. And she says, I don't have any money left. I am broke. I am living paycheck to paycheck, which shockingly happens to many, many people, no matter what income bracket they're in. So we were discussing what was going on in her life, and I said, well, got her to be involved in the budget management program. And so I said, come on in, bring in all your bank statements. We're going to take a look at stuff. And she's going through the program, and I'm looking at her bank statement, and I see this recurring expense of $4.30 a day.
No, that was
Seven?
years ago.
That was 15 years ago.
The story's been around for a while, but 7 days a week.
she was getting water at Starbucks.
Yeah, that's the cup.
Well, it was a Starbucks cappuccino or latte or something every single day, 7 days a week. And the thing about it is that it doesn't seem like a lot of money, $4.30. Now multiply it by 7. It's basically $30 a week. Multiply that by 52. That's $1,600 a year for something you borrow.
Something you borrow?
Yeah, you
It's
borrow.
in and out.
It's in and out. Coffee goes
Coffee
in.
goes in and comes
Coffee
back
goes
out.
out,
So food you borrow?
so to speak. Anyway, so I said to her,
You
I
don't want to
said,
dig too deep on that.
No.
I'm like looking at her. I'm saying, you're flushing $1,600 a year down the toilet, buying coffee at Starbucks. She goes, I love my Starbucks coffee. I must have my Starbucks coffee. So I said to her, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you a deal. You still owe me $800. Don't pay me. She goes, what?
I'm in.
Don't pay me. I said, unless I fix your problem, then you're going to pay me. She said, all right, what's the catch? I said, I want you to go to Williams-Sonoma, big fancy store at the mall, right? And I want you to buy this DeLonghi coffee maker, $800.
Not anymore.
3,300 now. I just got the brochure in the mail.
Look, like I said, the story's been around for a long time.
$800.
But she looks at me and goes,
Open box price.
are you nuts? I go, no. Remember, you're supposed to pay it to me. So if you don't, I'm going to fix the problem. She goes, what's the catch? I said, you can't go to Starbucks for 30 days. So at the end of the 30 days, I call up Mrs. Smith and I said, Mrs. Smith, how's that coffee out of that coffee maker that I had you buy? She goes, it's the greatest coffee I've ever had. I said, better than Starbucks? She goes, yes, it's better than Starbucks. I said, how much did the beans cost you this month to buy? She goes, $20. I said, that's $240 a year. That means that you're not spending $1,360 a year on coffee.
Oh, that's nice, Brian.
But what did she get? She still got the coffee, right? And what was she doing to get that coffee? I remind you, she was driving from her house through the drive-thru at Starbucks to her office, all within a mile and a half. So the coffee was still hot when she made it at home and got it in her nice little Contigo mug to work. What did she do? She stopped wasting money. What didn't she do? She didn't give up her
So she
coffee.
recovers the $800 for the coffee machine.
In roughly 6.5 months.
And then from then on,
she's $130 ahead.
And she paid Brian because he's still working here. Because
And
I know
she
you would have
and
fired
she
him
did-
if you didn't get
And
that
she did
$800.
pay us. That's right.
and that is the coffee
moral
story.
of the story.
That is the basics
And
of
she got
budget.
more satisfaction because she got better coffee. She liked it.
That's right. And she didn't waste money. That is what budget management is about, which differs dramatically
What if she
from
had a crush on the cute guy that was serving and handing her coffee at the drive-up window
the
every day?
barista. Can't
Yeah.
help you there.
Different satisfaction column.
But the key about this is that
Complicated.
Different column.
it is complicated. That's a great way to put it.
And the way to resolve it is to make an appointment and meet with the master of budget management, the only man that we know who does not waste money, Mr. Brian Small. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.